Put on the metronome.
And we're back after we got down with the sickness. We are back. Okay, so we had kind of talked about the fact that we could possibly tell the difference between these different pops, or if you're from a different part of the country, sodas, or if you're from Georgia, these are all Coke and Diet Coke.
Sody Pops.
But, so, we figured we might as well do it now. So, I filled up the Boneman's cups, and only I know his order. He did the same for me. How do you want to do this? You want to do it?
I should go first, because you were the one that was sure you had this.
All right.
It's the one that all the marbles is right now. Okay, so, do we have rules? Like, can I only taste one at a time? Or can I compare?
Let's do it this way. You taste it, and you decide. And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. No double tasting. Look at that, with no... The button, the unbutton.
That's nice, dude. You look like a little waiter.
I look like a little Guido.
Like a little Guido Hans.
Can I grab you the pasta fajoule with some gabagol?
Alright, so, well, hold on. Alright, so, this one's got these 4 have a lot of foam, 1 does not. I'm gonna go with that one first.
Okay.
Diet Coke, Coke, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Coke, 0 sugar.
I think they redid the flavor profile of this one, because they call it Coke 0 sugar now, not Coke 0. Yep.
Shit. Without being able to taste the other one. You know, you can tell Coke and Pepsi if you taste them back to back, but without. Because that's my first. I'm trying to go split it down the middle and then decide. Man. Alright, I think it's a Coke product.
Okay. Which Coke product is it?
Diet.
Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Should I tell you if you're right or wrong, or should
I don't
we
know,
wait
we're
till
gonna
the
go one
end?
by one, or oh man, because then I could be wrong about all of them if you don't tell me one right away.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna go with red, but I'm
You're
gonna want
saying
to
red
change
is
it
Diet
though. If I know I'm screwed once I taste these other ones.
So red is Diet Coke, okay.
But right, Tom, you're gonna forget. I'm going over here. Okay, this one, is diet or no sugar for sure. This is not one of the originals.
I have my United Nations Model UN.
Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna go coffee cleanser here.
So you said the red one was Diet Coke?
I guess.
Okay.
Diet Pepsi.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So the blue on the edge.
Right. I think this is another weird one. I don't think this is an original. But that leaves the 2 originals. Alright, I'm gonna go. This is 0 sugar. Purple. Tastes pretty sugary though, I got. Shit. Wait, I meant this is the sugary one. I haven't been sure about one of these so far. What have I covered? I haven't. So
You
the
said-
only two left are the original.
You said Diet Coke,
Right.
Diet Pepsi,
Pepsi.
Coke Zero.
Yeah, right. So I have the two originals left. What are the odds of that? I don't know. I'm gonna say that's Coke.
Okay. Yellow is Coke.
Nope. I'd say that's Coke and that's Pepsi.
Okay, so yellow is Pepsi,
Yeah.
and blue
It's regular
on the
Coke.
inside is Coke. Okay. You want me to?
I got my piece of paper here.
Should we wait till I finish?
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Or do you want to shame me right now? No, let's see how you do first. All right.
Yeah, because I might shame you, and then like I do horrible. So. Okay.
All right, where are you starting first?
I'm just gonna go in order. I'm gonna go from
All right.
outside and
All right. Nose in the cup. Swivel. Swish. Swishel. Swish.
hence
Ooh, he already knows. Hence the scent.
scent of a vanilla note.
Oh, that's Coke. Coke is vanilla. They had one. They had one called Vanilla Coke.
Diet Coke.
So left blue Diet Coke. Now he's on to the red. What are you getting? Ooh, he's burping. I didn't use the burp technique. That's a good idea. Shit. The red.
Pepsi.
Red is Pepsi, he says. Alright.
No, I have no idea.
It's hard, right? Like, maybe if you could compare, maybe.
It's weird because when you were doing it, I'm like, how can you not tell it's regular versus diet?
I
But
know!
yeah, it's fucking hard.
But without the label right behind it, you can't be like, one of them.
I know what this is now. This is Diet Coke.
So you're saying purple is Diet Coke?
Oh yeah, for sure. This is
that's
Diet
your
Coke.
brand.
So
I'll let you switch if you want.
make blue Coke Zero.
So you're saying purple is Diet Coke. That one you're sure of.
Yeah.
He's got this. He's got the nose. And then you're saying the light blue, the left blue
Right.
was Coke Zero. Mm-hmm. You're changing the Coke Zero. You want to take another swig of that one? You're changing.
No.
I'll let you.
No, it's okay.
He's on to the yellow. So far, he's knocked out Coke Zero, Pepsi, and Diet Coke. That leaves Coke and Diet Pepsi. And you.
Diet Pepsi.
Ooh, yellow Diet Pepsi.
That one I can actually taste that it's sweet.
The last one.
Yeah. Which ones
So-
haven't I said?
The one you have left is
Pepsi.
regular. No, you said red was Pepsi.
So this is Coke.
Regular Coke is what you would have left.
Yeah, I'll go with this is Coke.
Right, blue, regular Coke. All right.
Alright, let's see. Who wants to go first?
Well, let's go one by one. All right. So yours first, left blue. You
Okay.
guessed first Diet Coke, then switch to Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Survey says left blue, Diet Pepsi.
Alright, you said this was Diet Pepsi, right?
Okay.
You said this is Diet. And it actually is regular Pepsi.
Damn, so I was right about the Pepsi Coke?
Yeah. You just couldn't tell if it was sweet or not.
Tastes like Pepsi now.
Okay.
Then we had the red.
The red.
And you guessed Pepsi.
Right.
Pepsi for you. The red was Coke. Regular Coke. Oh!
I knew it was regular, but I got the regular right, though.
You did get regular right,
Okay.
but you... Woo.
Okay, you said this was Diet Coke, and it is regular Coke.
Again? So I was right on both, but did not know diet or
Right.
regular. Holy fuck. Damn it. See, Coke has like something about the bubbles at the end. They're more like...
So this is Coke, you're telling me.
Red is Pepsi. That's Pepsi.
This is Pepsi.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh, you said Pepsi. Sorry. Red is Coke.
Okay. So this is Pepsi. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can tell now. But we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
You're just saying. Now
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So what are we on? Purple for you?
Purple, yeah.
So this was the one...
That when I smelled it, I said, "This
You
is
know
Diet-"
what it is, and you said Diet Coke. For
And
sure.
it is.
And it is Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You knew that one. You knew that one
least
right
got one.
away. What about it was different?
The smell.
This one's Diet Coke here, right? Or you said it's regular Coke, so that means one
Yeah.
of these is Diet.
Yeah, you haven't gotten to Diet Coke.
Now that I have these two, hold on. Fucking knows his stuff too. This disadvantage.
I don't know. There's just some weird smell that Diet Coke has that has stuck with me for my entire life. And the moment I smelled it and then I tasted it, I was like, "This is Diet Coke for sure."
I would say. That one tastes like Tab almost. I would say that's a 0 or something weird, or Pepsi. I would say that one's Diet Coke now, but I don't know what I said before.
Okay.
What are we on? Purple?
Purple. I got Diet Coke.
You were right. So that's the first hit we got.
Yeah.
I was close, but I didn't get Diet.
Right.
You were...
I knew if it was regular or Diet, but not what brand. But you knew if it was what brand. So your purple, you said, was Coke Zero, and that is Diet Pepsi.
Man, it's even a different color. Is that the cup or is that... Is yours cloudy? Oh yeah, yours...
That's Diet Coke, though.
Right, but I'm just saying, is the liquid cloudy due to the cup?
Oh, yeah. I
okay,
think
so
the
it's
cup.
not the...
Yeah, I think it's the cup.
It's a Diet Pepsi?
Yeah.
Ah, it still tastes a little cokey to me. That one's, yeah.
All right, on to yellow.
Yellow, you guessed. Diet Pepsi.
Yeah. Which I got wrong, right?
Coke Zero.
Now that I taste it. Once you taste them all, you can pick them out. But going one by
Maybe,
one...
I don't know. We could try it again, being able to taste all of them. I'd be interested.
Yeah. Okay, you said yellow is Pepsi, and yellow is Coke Zero.
Damn.
But what's funny is that when you drink it again, you're like, it tastes kind of like Tabby.
Right.
And
This
to
one
me,
tastes different.
To me, Coke Zero kind of tastes like what Tab used to taste like.
I should have known it was the different one, because I tasted something right away that was like, this is neither. All right, and then right blue. What'd you come to the conclusion it was finally? Oh, last time you said it was Coke was the
But
last
it's
one you
Pepsi.
left, but it's Pepsi. Is that all that's left? Right blue, Pepsi. Yeah. So you got one. You got the Diet Coke.
I got the Diet Coke, and then you said this was Coke, but it was Diet Coke.
Damn it! Man, I'm upset about that. So I was so close on 3 of them.
Yeah.
These two I busted, but
I guess what I've concluded is that I do know what Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke tastes like. I don't know what anything else tastes like. And I think it's because I don't like Diet Coke. Like I've told myself I don't like Diet Coke, so whenever whenever I've had it, it's like it's definitely
1 for 10.
Yeah.
Dude, it was hard. Like I thought there was gonna be some sort of indicator at first, and then that first sip, I was like, "Oh no, this is impossible."
And like I said, I was like, "How can you not tell it's regular?" Like
you'd think you'd be able to.
And then I got to here, and I'm like, okay, it could be diet, it could be regular. Like who knows when you don't have anything really to go by.
To compare it to. Ah, so close. Oh, man, I got close on 3 of them.
Yeah. Here's the Diet Coke tasting like
Diet
crap.
Coke.
I think you're just
Coke Zero.
Blue was Diet Coke. Just has some weird taste to it, and especially the aftertaste is like
The aftertaste is very
distinct.
Now, what do you think? This might be easier. Like Barks root beer, Dad's root beer.
That would be hard.
Mug root beer. You think so?
Except didn't
Barks?
Mug,
You could tell. I think.
I thought Mug had like this a really horrible like.
I like Mug root beer.
It had like a really horrible like licorice hint.
I don't
note.
like licorice, but maybe it did. All I heard was it was sugary as hell, and it was in vending machines after hockey games, along with not Mr. Pibb. It was it was Mr. Pibb. Like it was a doctor of some sort.
Definitely got.
No, this is like Mr. Pibb X though or something. It was the
Pibb Extra.
Pibb Extra. It was the.
It was extra.
More sugar. This one will give you energy, not like the regular sugar water.
I don't know what made it extra. Yeah, let's get our decor.
Let's mood lights, so we can get all freak on. With Olay, my mommy went to Hawaii last week. She brought me a ukulele. It's pretty sweet. I forgot to take a picture of it. Damn, dude.
Your flight of.
My flight of.
That's what we should do. We should open
dark
like
colas.
some hipster joint and be like a flight of cola.
Oh my god, yeah. If you guess them all right, they're free.
Though I did want to do RC because I wanted to see if RC was distinct.
RC's gonna taste like Pepsi. Diet Pepsi.
What? That's Pepsi.
Pepsi. RC's gonna taste like Pepsi.
I put Pepsi in blue and Coke in red, so I would no.
So did I. Right? I think I did.
Yeah, you did. You did.
We thought the same thing. I was looking at these cups. I was like, all right, Pepsi's blue cups, and then I was like, Zero's got the least of that. Red. Coke was red. Made it too easy. Same exact thought process. I'm not a 1 level guy. I'm a 2, 3 level type of guy.
Yeah.
See, I thought he knew I was going to put him in blue. So then I wasn't going to put him in blue. But then I knew that he knew I was going to put him in blue. So I put him back in blue. That's how you do it, Kelly.
We could try root beer.
She thought you were 1 step.
We could try root beer.
Yeah, because Barks has diet, don't they?
Yeah.
Their regular can looks diet. It's just that, like, silver.
Yeah.
So what do we got? We got Dad's, Mug,
Barks, A&W.
Barks, A&W, yes. Ooh, A&W and Barks.
Barks has bite.
That was never their slogan.
Yeah, it was. Comment if you know that Barks' slogan used to be Barks has bite back in the 90s.
That was the...
during the root beer wars of 1993.
No, that was the... Red Dog beer. You remember that? Red Dog? It was like a little bulldog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that what it's called? Red Dog? I kept
think
wanting
so,
to
yeah.
say Mad Dog 2020 like that.
No, it's-
wine shit.
Yeah, that's red. It was called Red Dog.
What the fuck was up with that? Because I have these memories of being like young, under 10 at family parties, and all this Red Dog was like around. That was like the shit back then.
I think it was just
Commercials
Like, I think it was
and-
just like a fad thing, like
Like
Zima.
Zima.
We're on that next level.
1, 2, or at least 3 levels.
We don't lose at Rochambeau at rock paper scissors.
Alright, Evan, sorry for the hacking. Got some sort of
He's got
virus.
the Kruger or the Rascon.
Bronchitis.
Ooh, nice. Ooh wee. Yes.
That's like
Look at that.
I don't even know how old I was. 3 maybe.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think you're that little?
Yeah.
I guess so.
That because this is kindergarten graduation.
Oh shit, yeah,
So
you're a
that
lot
was
bigger.
before. My big ears and my fake teeth, my fake front teeth.
Oh, but they're not silver though. I thought they were silver.
I think the white enamel
Like
wore
away.
away. Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit. Wait, yeah, whatever happened with that? You fell on your face or what?
I don't know
the
why.
hell happened?
I don't know why that happened. Malnutrition.
One day I had teeth in the front of my head, the next day I didn't have any fucking teeth.
Yeah.
These silver.
I honestly don't know. like, if that's not any more 90s, me holding
Wow,
a giant
big
crayon.
Crayola. You're like some sort of colorful. You're part of some color guard. Hey-o! Face looks a little bloated. You hitting the sauce hard back then, or what? Hitting that Coke Zero a little too hard? Oh, and then, oh, dude, Sprite, Diet Sprite, 7-Up. Do they make Diet 7-Up? Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Sierra Mist.
This is the infamous floating head picture.
In the yearbook? Or
It
what? Was it black and white in the yearbook?
No, but it was. My mom picked. So, I think this was at. We were still in Catholic school at the time. And remember when you do picture day, they'd have the different. You could pick
your
what color.
background, yeah.
Okay, so my mom picked like purple. And then she was like, oh, I'll put you in this green shirt and it'll pop. But the lady didn't change the background and it was green. And so, and it was almost the exact same color as the shirt. And so we joke about how I just look like a floating head. The infamous floating head.
I've been waiting for one of my teeth to get knocked out my whole adult life so I can get some silver teeth. Sadly, it hasn't happened yet, though. And the amount of times I've fallen on my face, too, it's pretty amazing.
I love that. That's a goal of yours.
Dude, silver teeth are the shit. You know that.
I don't
I'm
actually.
surprised you ever got rid of yours, man.
I'm pretty happy with my non-silver teeth.
I was telling this story to Keish about how, like, when I was 20 and I was at the dentist. So I'm past teenage years. I've already grown up. I'm
Right.
well grown. And my dentist is still like, so you don't want braces? You sure? Like, he was like, he just couldn't believe that I would walk around with a mouth like that and be happy about it. But I am. Proud of my shark teeth. But the amount I've been biting the inside of my fucking mouth lately, though, I don't know, I think, did you ever have your wisdom teeth pulled?
Yeah.
All of them?
All 4 at the same time.
Fuck. What? How old are you?
I was in high school.
Did you go all loopy?
Well, they said, do you want just a Novocaine or do you want to go under? And I'm like, you're going to do all 4, I want to go under.
Yeah, hell fucking yeah.
So they're getting me ready, right? They have like heart monitor on and stuff like that. And the lady, the nurse or whatever, I don't know what they're called at a dentist's office, but is trying to find the vein for whatever. And she keeps like putting it into my hand and missing. Putting it into my hand, missing. And I start sweating because I don't know, that's just how I am.
Oh yeah.
And I start sweating, and eventually, like, I get lightheaded and I kind of pass out. And because I'm sweating, the sweat is on my chest too, where the heart monitor is. So the moment I close my eyes, because I'm kind of passing out, the heart monitor comes off, and I flatline. And I hear it, and then that kind of woke, because I was still conscious, you know, like,
yeah, you just kind of go a little,
yeah, and I just put it back. I just kind of was like, oh, it's okay, and then it's like beep, beep, beep.
Oh my god, that's funny. So did they end up putting you under? Or
Yeah,
like,
they put me under.
Oh, you're a little too squeamish, boy. Look at
No,
this.
it's like, it wasn't my fault. It was her fault for not being able to hit the vein.
Yeah.
So.
Can you imagine fucking...
And then like, my dad said, oh, your guitar came in. The Gibson, that one came in. But it came in Kenosha. Because that's where my dad ordered it. And he's like, we could drive there. And he's like, do you feel okay to do that? And I'm like, yeah, I still had like the gauze and
oh my
stuff.
god.
And I wanted that guitar so bad that I was like, yeah, let's drive 2 hours. And they still didn't do it right. They didn't like set it up right.
Yeah, dude,
I ended up having to get a new nut like a month into it.
They fucked you.
The binding's coming off.
Really?
Yeah, I have to get all the electronics redone and have it rebound. Because like that shouldn't be shaking, and that was like that from the moment I got it.
Yeah. A bunch of fucking dicks. Where in Kenosha?
No, it was from the Gibson factory.
What?
Yeah.
God damn, what model is this?
ES 137, I think.
Did it sound good?
Yeah,
least?
it sounded good for a while.
What
I think
nut is it?
I think it's a synthetic nut now. Went to some
You
place.
should not have been driving.
Yeah, like he was like, "Can you handle the drive?" Like, and we drove up there together. And I'm like, it should be okay, but I still had like the gauze and like it was all bloody and stuff.
How bad was the pain afterwards? The
I
days
don't think
after?
it was
really
that bad. No.
People act like it's fucking terrible and it looks so bad, and just thinking about getting your fucking teeth pulled. When I was little, the front ones started coming in before they fell out. That's half the reason they're so fucked up. So they pulled like 2 of them. So they just did the Novocaine and pulled them out. I was very little and I did not like the whole experience. It was pretty shitty. Like first the needle in the gum and then just...
Yeah.
So I haven't been keen on it, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, they're just pushing everything even worse. My dad had one that just grew in like this and pushed all his teeth to like one side. But I don't want to do it if I don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, because they like, I guess one was coming out or something, and then they just did the x-rays and they're like, yeah, they're all growing and coming in messed
Impacted
up.
and weird.
So you might as well just, if we're going to go, you might as well just do them all at one time. I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, I can still feel it. Both the bottoms still have like gum that's like around the sides or that goes over. Both the top ones are finally completely out as far as I can tell. I don't know. I don't like teeth stuff. It's so freaky. Scraping on it. Should I get an Invisalign? Alright.
You could.
Send it in.
Those are expensive, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Like,
more expensive than braces?
Yeah. because they're invisible, and you have to get them redone like all the time.
Well, there's like a kit, right? Or yeah, I mean, they're going to change your everything gradually, just like braces, right? So I think they send you one mold, right, and then you wear
it's
that.
not. It's not. The dentist has to mold your teeth.
Well, they have ones now that derivatives of Invisalign where you just send it back to them, right, and they can look at your bite and they can start just rearranging shit, and then you get one back. Wear that for a while, you get the next set that's like more bent.
Because there's a lot of like teachers who get them, because they finally have
They don't want to be
insurance
made fun
and
of
stuff.
by
And then
little
it's
kids.
like, you would think that they could afford to get Invisalign, but they just get regular braces. So it must, to me in my head, it's like it must be that much more expensive.
Because why would anyone get regular braces anymore
Right.
if that wasn't? I see that. That just looks, ouch.
Down to four. Down to 312.
So that's 40 pounds then.
We've hit the
Official.
40-pound mark. Yeah.
Nice. 352 to 312. A little some more sugar water in you.
I've been just really doing the intermittent fasting. I'm going to try to hit the gym a couple days during the week before work, and then hopefully. Kelly gave me her ketogenics drink that she couldn't drink, and I know why she couldn't drink it. That is really hard to stomach.
Did you throw it away yet?
No.
I'll try it.
You can try it. At the first time I drank it, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. It tastes kind of like lemonade or something like that. The second time I drank it, it was tough to drink. I don't know why. Maybe at that point, I'm going to try again because it's so much of it. So I want... And I want to get rid of it before I order. But I do like the Ketos Max one that I was drinking before. It has all kinds of different flavors, like fruit punch, that kind of stuff. But they also have like vanilla, chocolate, like more like a milkshake kind of thing too. So those were a lot easier to drink. Plus, they lasted a little bit longer. The ketogenics one is like, you have like a certain amount of time to drink it before it becomes battery acid. It just tastes like, I remember I mixed it one day. Like, this was when I first bought ketogenics, right? I mixed it and I forgot to bring it with me because I was bringing it with me to work. And so I came home and I figured, I'll just drink it when I get home. It was battery acid. It was disgusting. And Dom D'Agostino who was on Joe Rogan, who
Right.
the ketone guy. He even talks about like, he's like, yeah, you have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
What happens?
I don't know. Something happens with it that like it just like spoils or something really fast.
Wow.
And he's like, you could probably put it over ice and it can last like a half hour, but yeah, if you don't do that, it's like, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think, you know what was? I mixed it with LaCroix the second time, and it didn't taste like, it was better just by itself. Like I thought, if I put it with some LaCroix, it would taste better or something like,
give it a little bite.
But no, it made it worse. So I think I'm just gonna have to stick to just it plain and just try it because. Yeah, I didn't do it all this week, but also I was like, had like this stomach flu this week, so I didn't really do a lot.
Yeah, due to my illness.
And then once I could eat, I ate like shit because I was like, I can eat again.
Yeah, I know. I kind of been doing that the last couple of days because I didn't eat for like 5 days. I got sick last week as well. So I'm down into the 60s. It was like 168 this morning, and I think I got down to 166 for a second. I was like, whoa. So I'm like up to 168. I just want to stay in the 60s. I don't want to eat too many fucking donuts, you know, like, because I feel like that's how I got into trouble in the first place. Like, got up to 190, like, 190 now. oh, I'm over 200 now. Oh, who the fuck cares? And I thought somehow getting older correlated with just getting fatter,
Right.
like, indefinitely. Now that I'm in the 60s again, yeah, I just don't want to go back. But I feel like, considering I was sick, I'm going to rebound, like, probably up to 173, even if I, like, eat well.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Because I pretty much almost did like a 24-hour fast. Because I couldn't eat for like a really long
While
time.
shooting your brains out.
Yeah.
It's a cleanse.
Yeah.
Kruger cleanse.
The Kruger cleanse. Get a stomach bug.
Ugh.
But yeah. So I always think of this episode of King of Queens where Carrie is trying to like get Doug to lose weight, and he says something, and then her response is like, lose 50 pounds, still are fat.
Damn.
And I always remember that like or still look fat or something like that. It's like, well, when you weigh that much, it's gonna take a lot more than 50 pounds.
Damn. She's just mad at him because he's not a Scientologist.
You know, so he has a new show, right?
What is it?
Kevin Can Wait or something like that. And it was on last year.
Okay.
And I guess it did okay.
Regular network.
See, it was on CBS, just like King of Queens was.
So it's like a spin-off, practically.
And no, it's like a completely new show, but they kind of use the same dynamic. Like he had a wife and all this crap. So they kill the wife off.
Damn.
Because Kevin James says that he had wanted it to be, he was single, like a single father kind of thing like that. And, but the network didn't really want it right away. So they kind of kept this like King of Queens kind of vibe, whatever. So Leah Remini is on the show like as a character towards the end of the series, like just like whatever, like just occasional character. Well, now she's like a full-time character. They've killed the wife off, and now she's a full-time character. And it's like
That's just the girlfriend.
yeah, that's what people were saying. Like, what is she? His new love interest?
That's
and they're like,
funny.
no, she's just gonna be a part of the show more regularly. But it's still funny that like, and like they're bringing Will and Grace back. It's like, can we just have real shows? Can we just come up with new shows?
Like, how did King of Queens end?
I don't remember.
Don't they? I don't know.
Because I've watched so many episodes of it, but I don't think they've ever shown or I've ever seen like a final episode.
And they wouldn't. Yeah, like you'd never get that on syndication. You get like all the middle
right
seasons, but you never like get any continuity or like.
And maybe they didn't even do like a
maybe not.
season ending.
Well, that's the way they go, right? Like either they get canceled, or they get really fucking stupid, or a lot of these shows get way too serious. I feel like at the end, I never watched it, but there was that How I Met Your Mother, and didn't like they just end up like splitting up in the end. And
I don't.
I think so. That's what I read or something.
Kelly, you can comment because I know you've watched it. I remember the story is that Kelly says she refused to watch the show because they never would show the mother, and then she started binge watching it the last season because they were like gonna show who the mother was. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna watch. That's at least the story she told me. But I do remember that, like that was like 3 or 4 years ago. Is show who they're gonna finally show who the mother is, like. But yeah, I think maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't care about the show enough to. I wasn't that deep into the storyline.
I've never watched
But
it.
like Big Bang Theory, like it's just like
Never got into that one either.
it's funny, but like now I haven't watched the last few seasons of it, and it's just like I don't want to watch it.
I only watched that for that Kaylee Kuwoko broad. She was on
Charmed?
10 simple rules, 8 simple rules
8
for
Simple
dating.
Rules.
My teenage daughter, and then remember John Ritter died, and then they kept that fucking show going. And that was maybe that's where I'm getting this whole like.
She was on Charmed too. The last couple seasons of Charmed.
She was? Damn. Stopped watching Charmed once Rose McGowan was gone.
Didn't she stay till the end though?
I don't know.
So maybe you watched it till the end.
No, I did not, because I never saw Kaylee Kuwoko.
What was
on
the
Charmed.
whole? Wasn't there like a
I thought
whole
one of them left, maybe it was the
storyline
other one. I'll listen to
about
that.
like these people coming to create a utopia? I don't know. I feel like I stopped watching it at that point. So
Yeah. I never caught too much of the storyline.
well, because usually there wasn't really an overarching storyline most of the seasons, except for like we're sisters and we have to deal with like
Yeah. And here's the goblin.
random things
Yeah,
like
random-
you're pregnant now, so that's
random
going to be an
evil things.
overarching
Oh, right. And then they had the
thing.
kid, yeah.
or whatever. But there's very few overarching storylines. Everything was like, which was good about television back in the day. It was like you didn't have to be so involved. You could just watch an episode
I agree,
and
for
then
real, right?
be done with
you
it.
Get in, get out. They establish everything. Resolved. Boom.
Done.
I didn't need to know last week. I don't need to wait till next week.
Right.
Bam.
Yeah.
What, do they do anything like that anymore? They have to. I don't watch
I mean,
TV anymore.
I mean,
so-
sitcoms are probably still like that, but
even like all the new sitcoms. I don't know. Like, have you watched? So now they're making Netflix sitcoms, right? Like as opposed to even ones on TV.
right.
I don't know. I've watched The Ranch. I watched the first 2 seasons of that.
Yeah.
That's got a whole storyline. You know, it's just that 70s
I think-
show on a ranch.
I think,
Basically.
like, on TV, those sitcoms are still, like, one and done kind of thing.
Like the Law and Orders, all those for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know all the family ones. I feel like they have to have something now. I don't know. Maybe not. Like I said, I don't watch fucking TV anymore, so I don't know any new shows. I don't know anything. I'm just talking straight out of my ass for maybe like the year 2001.
I don't really watch anything on network television. Yeah, no.
Did you watch any football yet?
Yeah, I've watched the first 2.
We lost both, right?
We've lost both games. The next one's coming on in a couple hours.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah. I think they play the Steelers, which they'll probably lose. The Bears will probably lose. I mean, everybody thought the Bears were going to win last week
Why?
because they were playing Tampa. Tampa. Tune in, Tampa. They were playing Tampa. And, like, they just got hit by the hurricane, like, the week before.
And somehow that gave them stronger resolve instead
Yeah.
of just beating them down.
And the Bears
Which we
got
wanted.
whooped. Like,
That's not fair. They were playing for like their country and shit. Florida.
I think there actually might be a game on now because there's 2 teams in London. That's something that they do now every year. They have like a couple games in London, and they start at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Guess what? Okay, this was a Harry Potter weekend on Freeform.
Freeform?
It used to be known as ABC Family.
It's called Freeform now?
Yeah, because they have they do a lot of like dramedies that are like,
That's
know,
what I
like,
call this.
yeah.
Dramedy.
It's like, Seventh Heaven, but like with an edge.
Seventh Heaven.
But they don't have Seventh Heaven on ABC Family anymore. They have like the Fosters, which is like people getting beat and like they're living in a foster home and shit. Like, or Degrassi. You don't know what Degrassi is, but whatever. It's like I'm trying to think of something like that we would know.
Get back to Seventh Heaven.
It's like if Saved by the Bell, but everybody was beating each other and like beating and raping each other. Like,
That's like Oz,
okay.
which I never saw either. I just know it was an HBO show from like 1998. And they were in prison raping each other.
But yeah, so like they're not really family friendly anymore. So
These are network shows. Oh, it's called Freeform because they're not family anymore.
Right.
Because ABC no longer supports the family unit. That's what they're saying.
that's what the Hallmark
They
channel's
wanna
for.
dissolve it.
You want to watch 30,000 different shitty Christmas
Cary Grant
movies.
movies.
Shitty
Jimmy
Christmas
Stewart
movies.
movies.
I read an article about how Hallmark Channel, I think Hallmark Channel, has already finished shooting 33 new Christmas movies. On top of the 33 that they filmed last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year. There is a Hallmark. There's 2 Hallmark channels that I have on my Sling subscription for whatever reason, and one of them consistently plays Christmas movies
Just
all year round for like
what?
a 12-hour block of the day.
What?
And they're going to come up with 30. It's like, we don't need to see. What was Jesse and the Ripper's wife from Full House? That lady is in like 30 of them. Every woman that's.
Lori?
Yeah, Lori Loughlin, maybe? But whatever. She's in 100 of them. The daughter DJ is in 100 of them.
Really?
Yeah. Name a washed up actress, and she's an actor. Dean Cain is in like a million
Dean Cain
of them.
is in a lot of shitty movies lately. I keep seeing his face on the end of shit. Oh my god.
And they're all Christmas movies, trust
I
me.
just saw him. Like, it was one of those things where
I used
was
to
gonna
love that
watch
show.
to see
That Superman show.
how bad it was, you know? Was that on TBS or
I think it was on WGN. The Superman show? Or maybe I'm just
Well,
confusing it.
Smallville was on
Right.
WGN.
But wasn't
I don't know. I always thought Dean Cain was on like TNT or TBS for that Superman show because I never watched it. So I was thinking
maybe it
wasn't
was
on cable.
TNT. Maybe it was TNT.
Do you remember what's the guy's name? Bruce something. He's the kind of a comedic actor. He was the chainsaw dude. Ash versus the Living Dead. Bruce Campbell.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Really?
I have no idea who he's talking about.
Do you know the horror movie with the guy with the chainsaw as an arm?
No. Don't watch horror movies.
He was in a cow. So this was on TNT in the mornings, like Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
And it was him. He was a cowboy and he had a horse, and he would fucking ride around. It was fucking.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
First of all, I'm still shocked you don't know who Bruce Campbell is, because usually we're very.
I might know who
If
he
I
is,
showed you a
but
picture of him, and I
I'm
can't.
sure.
He's like Dean Cain, but like he's been Dean Cain forever. He's like the C list off to the side, but like everyone fucking likes him though. Oh, never mind. If you don't know who he is, fuck it.
Was he on Wings?
Maybe. I bring up Wings. No one knows what the fuck Wings is, man. Where were we when Wings was on that we saw and no one else did?
Because we were the only 2 people who watched the USA Network under the age of 45.
Dude, it might have been USA that this Bruce Campbell cowboy thing was on. It might
It
not
sounds
even have been
like
TNT.
It sounds like it.
With La Femme Nikita. That was USA for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they had like 1 or 2 actual shows, and they had Monday Night Raw, and that's probably why I
talking about
watched
USA
USA.
or-
Yeah,
okay.
USA. I think that's why I watched USA Network, because Raw was on it, and then you would just be like, okay, what else does it have? But it didn't really have a lot of anything else. It was Wings and then they got Monk.
Yeah, I never watched that, but I remember when that came out.
Yeah.
Rewatching Sopranos right now. I'm on like 5th season. Have you ever seen any of those?
No. I mean, I've seen like clips,
Right,
but
for sure.
I've never actually watched an episode.
Well, it's funny watching it because it's like 97 or 98, and you know the whole thing was like, oh, mobster going to the therapist and blah blah blah, and how things are changing. So like he's on Prozac, and it's just funny because like it's a very late 90s advertisement for like mental health and fucking, you know, going to see someone and getting all these pills, and like I don't know, they just keep the way everyone on this show is like, oh, Prozac, like, you know, it's just like they're just like handing it out like fucking crazy. And then related to, I don't know, I feel like that's, I mean, obviously that's when it started becoming like really mainstream, right? Because that's the thing. You couldn't have had something like that before because no one would believe it or it wouldn't make sense or it'd be stupid, right?
Right.
And now
There's a whole spectrum.
Right out of my mouth. That's how I was going. Sopranos is pretty good though. Do you have HBO on Sling?
I mean, you can, but we
Yeah,
But we don't.
The extra shits.
I'm surprised we don't because we used to watch Game of Thrones. We haven't watched the last 2 seasons, so
I think I made it up to season 4 or 5.
of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, season 4 maybe.
Yeah, we're at where the last episode, like the last scene, that the little girl, Ira Stark, goes blind or whatever. She's like, I don't know. I hope I didn't spoil anything.
I mean, I started watching it. It finally, after 6 years of everyone fucking, you know, naturally that will make me avoid it. So
Well, we did for like the first 3 years or something like that, and then we binge watched the like first 4 seasons, and then like watched a season on
while
HBO
it happened or
week
whatever,
by
yeah.
week, and then got rid of cable, and then it was like I had downloaded the whatever next season was, but we never got around to watching it.
Well, it was the same thing. I had like some time. It was one of those things where I was like home for a week. So it's like, okay, put this on. And one of the things about binging that's nice is that then you don't have to fucking think about what the hell you want to watch. You just fucking keep press. Because I will spend like a long time going, no.
Yeah. That's what I also don't like Netflix because it's not. I don't like the way they like organize everything because it deters me from wanting to search through it to look for something to watch, and then I'll just put on Sling and watch the same episode of the Vanilla Ice Project that I've seen like 40,000 times, because at least I don't have to think about it and I could do something else or whatever. But the idea of having to spend so much time going through this, going like, do I want to watch that? Did I watch that already? You know, this, you know, it's just like a pain in the ass. I don't want to watch anything again, so get rid of that line. Netflix.
It's just one row, babe. Don't you?
Or continue watching. If it's like a minute left, delete that shit.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
like
have some common sense, Netflix.
Or if I haven't gone to it in a week, get rid of that shit.
Although actually, so I've been dealing with the HBO Go menu, and it's, I don't know if I'm just used to Netflix, but it's like so not user friendly. Like it took me a second to fucking figure out how to work it.
Right. Like I'll be like, I've never heard of this comedian. Let me try their stand up, and I'll watch it for 5 minutes and be like, nope, not for me. Like you're not that funny. Click. Haven't haven't gone. Maybe I want no. You know, if I'm not even like scrolling over it or retouching it or whatever, and it's been a month.
Get rid of it. I was thinking about that the other day because I was doing the Sopranos thing, but it'll still play whatever channel is going.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, that's different than it used to be, because I remember there used to be a TV Guide channel, or there was the TV Guide, but as a kid you didn't look at either of those, you would just fucking flip.
Right.
And you could get OCD about it and be like, okay, this is on that channel, but let's see what's on this channel. You could like go check them out. But either way, you still like made a quicker decision And I feel like you just were like, oh, okay, this is on. And then maybe you did the 5-minute thing where you're like, let me see what else is on. But it was different than now, where you scroll, then you like jump all in, you make your decision, you're like, well, I'm stuck here for an hour and a half if this is what I like or whatever. Whereas before with the TV, we were enraptured by it, but
that's also
you could
one of the
break
reasons
away.
why it's like, do I really want to see this on the continue watching bar for the rest of my life? No. I'll just watch it all the way through, even if you don't like it, you know?
Well, I would
like
just
one of
fast
those,
forward or something. I
one of those
watch it if I
shitty,
didn't
like,
want to.
Adam Sandler,
Ooh,
Sandy
the
Wexler,
Cobbler,
whatever.
Sandy Cobbler. Yeah. I haven't watched any of those.
Don't watch them. They're not worth your time. But yeah, oh my god. Which is like, I haven't watched Netflix in a really long time, and now Hulu, they completely changed the way their interface looks, and that's driving me fucking insane. Because it used to be like, okay, there's pictures of like, you know, whatever shows or movies, and that would entice you, but now it's just a giant ass fucking word.
Really?
So it just says Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, right? It's big as hell too, but there's no pictures, and it's like big as hell, and it's just a list.
Weird.
And it's like, why do I? No, I want like multiple things, all like the way it was, you know? Because
2017 bitches.
It's like it didn't make any sense to me, like how the format was, and like I'm probably not gonna watch Hulu now because of this shit.
I just started using Hulu because I don't know, I wasn't doing my normal, like, able to find something on Netflix within 15 minutes. Then when I didn't feel like Sopranos, there's nothing really on there I want to get involved in, because it would have to be like Boardwalk Empire or something where I'm going to have to dedicate myself anew.
Or you could watch like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver or something.
Just looking at that guy, he annoys me. I don't want to fucking hear him speak.
I actually liked him because Jon Stewart, he went to film a movie, and John Oliver filled in for him for like the summer or whatever while he was filming the movie. And I like
Adam Sandler pick.
And I got really, I was like, oh, I like this, you know. And then Jon Stewart came back, and I'm like, I actually kind of like John Oliver better. And then he went to HBO, and I was watching that, and I was like, okay, I can get my fix of it. And then we got rid of HBO.
All my stories end with, then we got rid of HBO.
Pretty much. And it's not like what he's saying, it's just the delivery of it. It's like very hackney British. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing I ever heard of him was that Drumpf thing, and I could fucking care less. Fucking bunch of fucking sheeple running around, spouting shit out.
Whatever.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about him. Yeah. That's all.
Come on.
Then I got rid of HBO.
So I've been pretty much trying to find. The problem is with like Sling, their on demand is not user friendly, and sometimes it takes forever for an episode to show up.
It's on call. It's not on demand.
Yeah, it's not like
on vacation.
Like I watch Impractical Jokers, right?
On hiatus. All right.
And now Impractical Jokers is kind of like The Walking Dead, where they have a show after the show where they kind of talk stuff.
Stupid.
I actually watched when I haven't watched Walking Dead in a couple seasons.
I never. Yeah.
But I would watch Walking Dead. Melissa would always be like, or Talking Dead, like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, it's kind of interesting to hear different people's perspectives of what happened and what they think is going to happen. They usually have like somebody from the show. If somebody important died or whatever, they usually have them and they talk to them. It's kind of interesting, and you get to see like a sneak peek. If you're watching at the end of it, you get to see a sneak peek of next week. So to me, it's entertaining. Like, to a lot of people, it's not, but to me, it's entertaining. So with Impractical Jokers, they have it. Joey Fatone, they're friends with Joey Fatone from NSYNC. He hosts it, and he interviews the guys or whoever, and they talk about the different pranks and things like that. It's entertaining, whatever. That show will be on demand the next day. But the actual episode of Impractical Jokers will not be on demand the next day. I have to wait a whole week. So how can I watch the after show if I haven't watched and they have a podcast. And they have a podcast that I listen to that comes on the day after the episode airs. So if I haven't seen the episode, I can't listen to the podcast. What the hell's going on? I need things to do, man. I can't just be listening to the same podcast over and over and over again.
That really grinds my gears.
I'm sure it does. So like I've been really trying to find like all kinds of podcasts to listen to because you might get a new one once a week from Joe Rogan Joe Rogan will do tends to do 5 in a row.
Yeah.
5 really close together and then nothing.
Yeah.
But it's not, I don't want to listen to every single Joe Rogan one because sometimes he has I don't really care about the
fight companion.
Right. I don't care about fight companions. I don't really care about Brendan Schaub.
I was just going to say, I don't need to see Brendan Schaub again. Fucking, give him a rest. Give him a fucking rest. He's okay.
Bring Tom Papa on every week because he's entertaining.
Tom Papa's the man. Get rid of Brendan Schaub.
Bring Joey Diaz. Bring your comedian. I like when the comedians are on.
Stanhope, Billy Burr. Let's get them on. Fuck Brendan Schaub. He's not a comedian. He wears fucking Gucci.
Those are the ones I like the most. The comedians, and then if he has somebody that's smart that people. I understand.
Peterson, fucking anyone.
Because he had a scientist on last week, I think, and I started listening to it, and I had to pay too much attention to it to really understand. So I was like, I can't listen to this one. I went to a different one. It's because when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm usually doing something else. So I've been listening to Bobby Lee's podcast because that's just a pile of dog crap, and it's all over the place. And
naturally,
yeah. I mean, if you've ever watched him on Mad TV, that's what his podcast is like.
Who Bobby Lee is,
yeah. But yeah, and so I've been trying to find.
Have you watched Norm Macdonald yet?
No.
What? Bobby Lee just did one on Norm Macdonald's show. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
It's a cut above the rest, in my opinion.
Bobby Lee was a guest on Norm Macdonald's
show. Yeah, he calls it a talk show. It's basically him and Adam Egget, who is the manager of the Comedy Store. Cool.
Whoa.
He's the manager of the Comedy Store. So he sits there and he's a fool, and then Norm just does his thing. But yeah, Bobby Lee was one of the recent ones. He actually had Caitlyn Jenner on recently. Jerry Seinfeld was on recently. Yeah, but it's really fun.
Oh yeah, funny. I like comedians in cars getting coffee.
I've seen a couple. I like that too.
I've been waiting for the
Where
next
season.
Where do you find them? It's on Crackle.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it.
Yeah. Do you have a Roku? Oh, that's it's free though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Crackle's free. Crackle's free. You don't have to sign up. It's just if you sign up, they will you can keep track of stuff. I think they have.
I could do it online then because I have one thing on my TV where you can basically go to YouTube or something I can watch it there. Yeah. Then I will, I believe, because
I've been waiting for the next season because the last season came on, but it was only 6 episodes. It was. He doesn't do a lot of them, mm-hmm. But I find it interesting to know what makes different comedians tick and mm-hmm. Learn about their craft and stuff like that. I like comedians a lot. I don't know why, but we used to watch stand-up specials when we were little.
Well,
probably shouldn't.
Yeah, before I was ever into it, you wanted to be a comedian
right.
when we were little.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I've got to do an open mic. I'm going to. It's going to be ridiculous, but oh well. Got some material written down that I gotta fucking figure out.
But yeah, it's really interesting. apparently Steve Martin wrote a book about like kind of like the art of war, but the art of comedy. Yeah.
I like shit like that, like you said. I like one dude talking to another dude. Yeah, they happen to be comedians and shit like that. Like I am naturally suspicious of things like John Oliver because there's like a whole writing team and they have their agenda and they're delivering a product.
Right.
I like fucking this dude and that dude. That's why Rogan's appealing to me. That's all of them. Billy Burr, just anyone doing that sort of thing. Because there's just a little less pretense to like what we're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Daily Show, those kinds of, it's satire, you know. I mean, if you're actually getting your news from that, then okay, that's. But if you're just there for the satire,
right?
Which usually that's what I'm there for.
Right.
Then it's like there's no harm, no foul.
For sure. I don't give people enough credit though, you know. As much as I would give you credit.
Right. True. No, yeah, I know there's a lot of people who like Daily Show is their...
That's their thing.
That's their news source.
Duh, why wouldn't it be?
I haven't watched too much of it since they got the South African dude.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Trevor Noah. I watched one of his specials a couple of years ago. It was alright.
It's okay. He's not like super funny.
It's not my brand, dude. Like I like old motherfuckers that like look like they've fucking done something and been somewhere, you know? He looks younger than me, clean cut fucking South African dude. Like you're not gonna, nothing about you like makes me laugh. Or
apparently he had to like leave. He actually had to leave the country so that he wouldn't get murdered by his dad or stepdad, something like that. I saw something. It was weird.
I've got some relatives in South Africa. They went from Ireland to either Chicago, Canada, or South Africa. So I got some there.
Really?
Yeah, I met them like when I was little. But I don't know. But they didn't know Trevor Noah. That's what I'm trying to say. They're on the other side of that apartheid line there. Yeah.
Where in Canada?
I don't know. I don't know any of them well enough. I'm thinking Toronto.
Yeah.
Seems about right.
Pretty much
sounds like
goes,
I've heard, like, you know, because it's not Montreal or anything like that. It's nothing French.
Right. Toronto's pretty nice. Though I like Vancouver the best.
Never been up there. I would like to.
It's nice. They got friggin' palm trees up there on the beaches. And
damn.
Shit. Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, they're in a temperate rainforest. That's their ecosystem or whatever it's called.
Right. Climate.
Yeah. It's a temperate rainforest, so that whole part of and that part of Alaska is part of it too.
That's what I was gonna say, right? Like that's the thing when you get up towards Seattle and all that shit. Isn't it kind of warm actually somehow because of something going on?
I think the current there's a warm current because like in England it's like that. Really? There's parts of England that are really warm all year round because the Atlantic current that's bringing warm water comes up to that part.
From Jamaica.
With their bobsled team. It's called Cool Runnings. They named it Cool Runnings, though. The current. But yeah, so it was like we went on a food tour. Me and Melissa did when we were in Vancouver.
Poutine?
And the tour guide said, she's like, yeah, I'm from Toronto, and I just recently moved here like maybe a year or two ago. She's like, yeah, the winters are really mild compared to Toronto, and she's like, yeah, I mean it gets like it doesn't really get that hot. Like they don't have air conditioning. When we went, it was like the hottest it had ever been. It was like in the 80s, and it was like unbearable. It was like in the 80s. And most establishments didn't really have air conditioning because it usually doesn't get hotter than 70 something in the summer. But yeah, we had some on the tours. There were some people who were like, yeah, we're from more inland, and yeah, it gets that hot, so we have air conditioning, but
along the coast.
Yeah, but where Vancouver is she's just like, no, they don't. It usually doesn't get that hot, so they don't really need air conditioning. And it's beautiful. It's like mountains and
Yeah, I
all
really
kinds of
want to
stuff.
check it out. For the nature.
And then we got on the boat and we went up to Alaska and it was like 40 degrees. But it wasn't like we went that. I feel like we didn't go that much more north, but it was like
Once you were outside the
that
path of
right warm
temperate,
water,
warm air.
Yeah, it was just like definite change.
Definitely spectrum. Have you ever listened to Hardcore History?
No.
That's one I've heard good things about that I wanted to check out. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if you have to. The only podcasts I've ever had on my phone were Rogan and then Bill Burr, and those were just little apps that you could like click on. I think maybe it was from their website or the Google Play Store, but I wouldn't even know.
Right.
Or I have to look up Hardcore History. Supposed to be good though.
It's nice because with the iPhone you have the podcast app, so I can just kind
Yeah.
of scroll through.
For sure.
And like I just have a whole bunch on the iPad too, and like when I'm at work and I'm got my prep periods, I just put one on. So that's why I just need as many as I possibly can find. And I just like looked through and I'm like, does this look good? Man, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to listen a lot more when I was, driving to work every day. I had like an hour there, an hour back. I'm tired of music.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep looking at my phone to change the song. I want something that's just on for like an hour.
Yeah.
Ideally. You guys can listen to this one while you're driving. You don't want to watch it because the audio is never synced up.
It is before I upload it.
You son of a bitch.
I don't know what happens when it gets uploaded. Something gets unsynced or something like that. But
Don't lie. Don't lie. I'm addicted to sugar water now. Would you like some?
I think I'm gonna go with the other brand
Nice.
with the Coke. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but
Well, yeah, one thing when the commercials come on regular TV, I fucking straight up go crazy now. Like, they're so bad, and they rub me the wrong, like, they started all that fucking clever, dumb advertising shit when we were little, funny commercials and all that shit, and now, here we are, 30 years later, and I can't fucking stand it. So I liked back in the day where, like, the TV was more of, like, a fucking put it on and leave it, unless you were, like, super engrossed by what was happening. If Seventh Heaven was on or something. But I can't fucking stand commercials.
what was the other one that was like Seventh Heaven? Touched by an Angel.
I never watched that one.
She's touched by an
Wasn't that an
angel.
old broad?
Yeah, I think so.
Gray haired?
I never watched either
Is
of
that
those.
Matlock? Murder She Wrote lady
Murder, She
or
Wrote?
something?
But commercials drive you nuts now?
I can't watch regular TV. Like, it'll fucking... even if I'm talking to someone else during the commercial and I fucking hear it, it happened to me the other day. I had to literally just mute it and scream for a while. Just get it out of my head.
Oh, I was gonna tell before we got on this whole tangent. So this weekend was a Harry Potter weekend on Freeform.
Oh.
On Freeform, and
Fuck you, ABC.
and so I was telling you how like they start the movies ridiculously early.
Oh, right. The marathon starts
Right.
early. Yeah.
So I was up at 6:00 in the morning today, that's when the first Harry Potter movie started. They don't usually even start regular programming. They usually have like infomercial till like 8:00.
So they just for the Potter Man.
Yeah.
They just open shop early. Well, was it 7 or was it like 8 movies? Like, was the 7th one 2? Because I feel like they would fucking do that.
Yeah.
They made 3 out of The Hobbit, so.
Yeah.
So there were 8 movies.
The last book is 2 movies.
So there are 8 altogether. You figure 2 hours a piece, 16 hours.
There's 3 hours a piece.
What?
For TV? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, because they're like 2.5 hours
It's
each.
24 hours.
But see, the thing
Does
is,
it play till 6 the next fucking morning?
the thing is, no, because they probably, I don't know, like yesterday, I don't know when they started, but they usually, this is how it's been, because they do this very frequently. I think once a month they have a Harry Potter weekend, right? Is that they start the first day, Saturday, and then they get to 4, maybe? Triwizard Tournament? Is that 4?
That's the 4th one.
And then they replay that one at 6:00 in the morning and go all the way the next day.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, give me a break.
Give us a break.
Break me off a
Saw
piece
this
of that
yesterday.
Harry Potter.
All this sugar water's making me have to piss real bad. Jerry Seinfeld's got a new special on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it. It was okay.
So,
because you know what it is? If you've watched Seinfeld, then you don't need to watch this. Because what it is, it's called Jerry Before Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the Comedy Store?
Laugh Factory.
I don't know what it's called. Wherever he got his start in New York, and he does all the material that made him famous and got him Seinfeld.
Right. And
So-
you kind of know the bits a little bit, like
Yeah.
they sound familiar because maybe part of it was on the show beforehand.
Right.
But yeah, as you're watching it, there's this vague, like,
You're like, I know this. There were some that like I
there's
hadn't
new
heard.
shit too, I feel like.
No, I think there's just stuff you never heard. Because he says it that like this is everything that made him. This is all the material he did back in the 80s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like there's just some stuff that wasn't on Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
But like the dryer, the socks in the dryer, he did that on Seinfeld.
I was
You know?
watching that, and I was like, dude, you would not let anyone else get away with doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
this socks in a dryer, like, as far as premise and fucking... You're watching something that's 30 years old, and yeah,
Right.
I mean, he started in the 70s, but... Like, Seinfeld is now a fixture. Like, we all know all the fucking routines and jokes. And I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, he can get away with this, and I half enjoyed it like he did. Actually, I liked it. I laughed at a couple parts, and then all the old shit didn't bother me. Because it'd been a while. He's been gone for...
I think he tried to rework some of the premises so that it made more sense.
That's
for
why I thought some
today.
of them were new, because it seemed like a few times he was alluding to the current state of how everyone's a fucking idiot nowadays. You know?
But I think maybe the original bit was
In the same vein.
in the same
Yeah.
vein, and so he could just kind of rework it so that he could just be like, oh yeah, this, but
Right.
I can work it into this old bit, or
Right.
whatever. Because there were some things that I was like, I've never heard that before. But then I started like, okay, I've heard that one before. Okay,
Right.
I've heard that one before. And I started like checking them off. I'm like,
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I was like, I know all of this stuff because I've watched every episode of Seinfeld like a million times. It's like it wasn't new. It was still funny though because it wasn't
Yeah,
like I
it wa-
haven't heard them in
Right.
forever. So it was still funny, but it was kind of like I kind of felt cheated. I was like, I thought maybe there was going to be
Yeah.
like, oh, after all this crap, there's going to be a brand new set.
Right,
He's
like
gonna
I've
do.
done, yeah. Like, look, I'm still
This
working.
is what
'Cause
I
he says
did, and
that.
then boom.
Like on Norm Macdonald, he's like, oh, I'm still working. Like, I travel around, I do comedy clubs and all that.
He's going to be in Chicago. Or maybe he was
Soon,
in Chicago. Sooner,
really soon.
Yeah. I thought about going, and now I'm like, maybe I don't want to go because maybe he's
Because
just
it's his
doing
act, right? I mean, you just saw it, right?
Right.
Well, something that's interesting to me about how far things have swung is that, like, he stopped playing colleges, like, a couple of years ago because of how politically correct everything is.
Right.
It's fucking hilarious that Seinfeld, like, totally not
Right.
dangerous Jew from New York, you know?
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I know. I just called him a Jew. Fuck. And he can't even, like, I mean, how fucking harmless can you get?
Right.
And he couldn't even fucking go to these places anymore because there's no sense of humor left.
Right.
It's fucking sad.
It is.
It's sad. Someone needs to pick up the torch and run for these old motherfuckers. They're gonna die soon. They put some Bill Hicks documentaries on Netflix. I think like at least one is newer. Like Sane Man is newer. Maybe they've had Revelations on there for a while. Have you ever watched Bill Hicks?
I tried to watch one of them, and it was a little too dated for me.
Yeah, it is dated for sure. Like that Sane Man is like 87 or 89. Revelations is 93, and I think that was his last one. He already knew he had cancer and everything. So he started when he was like 14. He started going to the comedy clubs with his friend, and they did more of like an improv thing, and their jokes were all together and stuff.
Yeah.
Then like his friend moved away, blah blah. But like, so by the time he was 28 in like 89, he had already been doing it half his life. All the comedians that he worked with in Austin all felt like he was, you know, miles above them and blah blah blah. I don't know. I think he's funny. I'm having trouble justifying where everyone puts him, like in the hierarchy, you know, as like one of the greats.
Like Rogan always talks about him.
Everyone does. They
yeah.
put him in the greats with Kinison
Yeah.
and Carlin and fucking Pryor.
I also don't get the Kinnison thing, but
No, me neither. Well, you had to even Rogan, who's like his biggest fan, says, you know, you had to be there
yeah.
and see it at that time.
Yeah.
And then even by the time he was doing specials, he was washed up already.
Right.
So like anything you're gonna see is
Right.
tainted,
yeah.
and that totally makes sense. It's kind of the same thing. They say a lot about a lot of Hicks's shit. The good shit wasn't taped, and by the time they did, you know, Sane Man is like right after he comes out of a good like 5 or more years of being a drunk on stage, and like his act got way from like being the kid in high school to then he just fucking was walking the room and just pissing people off, laying on his back on the floor drunk for like 30 minutes, just kind of talking to himself, that whole thing. He like stops drinking, comes out of this daze he was in,
Right.
and then started hitting it like on all cylinders, and everyone was like, oh shit, and then he records Same Man like a year later or whatever. I think part of the reason that everyone considers him great is because he was like presenting more like higher, loftier ideas, more philosophical, you know. But I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if it's enough. And I think it's also one of those things where everyone since him has ripped him off. Therefore, he does not look as authentic or different or as original as he would have back then. Because anyone that's not going to be a Jerry Seinfeld type of comedian goes the Lenny Bruce, Bill Hicks, outsider, more outlaw type fucking comedy. Not a fucking nice polished act where I can go work clean, you know, for 10 minutes. Like, these are motherfuckers trying to twist you, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's so many different types of comedians that I just don't get Bill Hicks, I guess. I don't know. Like I started watching one of the specials on Netflix because I was like, oh, everybody talks about how great he is, and it just kind of came off as like an angry dude, just like unhappy about
Preachy.
everything. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I guess I don't like any of those kind of comics that come off that way.
Preachy.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind if you're, like, intellectual and you have a premise that's, you know,
not a one step,
right?
Like a 2-step,
maybe like a 3-step,
maybe even a,
or just a 2-step, but. Like, I can appreciate that, but sometimes that's not that funny.
Well, I appreciate
it's not
it
as
too.
funny as, like, Brian Regan or what's the other, Jim Gaffigan, who can do, like, 30-hour specials about fucking Hot Pockets and food and shit. Like, they can come up with that stuff, and it's funny usually all the time. It's like they're very...
Well, yeah, I'd rather listen to fucking Richard Pryor doing a dog voice or a white dude voice. That's way more fucking funny than Bill Hicks preaching about, you know, the universe. I agree.
Yeah.
I like Brian Regan. I fucking hate Jim Gaffigan. It's fucking not funny at all. Go fuck yourself.
He's hilarious.
He's so fucking shitty.
Every one of his jokes is this stupid little voice.
It's funny. No, it's he's making fun of making fun of somebody in the
Fuck Jim
audience.
Gaffigan.
You need some Coke.
I do, right? I'm all
all
Generation
Pepsi'd up.
X stuff. I'm fucking X.
And it's the choice of a new generation.
I need to mellow down, go back to the old ways.
But yeah. Brian Regan is pretty much Jim Gaffigan. He's just like he just doesn't do the
Was
little...
funnier and was around first, and yeah, just better comedian altogether. I agree.
Just not
Jim
as
Gaffigan is
not
trying to
as
rip him off.
successful.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he didn't do the Hot Pocket. Everybody loves that shit.
That fucking dumbass voice. I tried watching a couple of his specials, and the last one I watched, every one of his fucking punchlines was in that dumb fucking voice. Give me one.
No,
give me one where you're not thinking.
No, the thing is, like, it's not the punchline is in the
The
voice.
tags, yeah. Afterwards.
It's like he does the punchline, and then it's like,
Is this how I'm supposed to feel? Should I be laughing?
Right, he's making fun of the audience.
Fucking idiot. His audience deserves to be made fun of, but by a better comedian. Hey-o! Fuck you, Jim Gaffigan. That's a new segment of the show where I flick off the camera every 5 minutes.
Yeah, so, like, but I do watch all kinds of comedians, and some of them are just, like, not funny.
I know. Oh, I saw one, a new guy I never heard of, and he looked on the cover. I was like, oh, it's called Happy Face, and I can't remember his fucking name, but it's a new one, and it was right there up front, so you probably saw the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like goofy looking guy in a fucking suit, and like he's got one of those things where his teeth and gums are this long, but like half of them's his gums, so like when he smiles or opens up his mouth, it's like, oh man. Actually, I did enjoy it though. I was like, I turn it on as one of those, let's see how bad this is, because I do that all the time. Like, I couldn't get through the guy that tours with Jerry Seinfeld, Sam Maniscalco.
Yeah.
Sebastian. That didn't do it for me. That seemed like...
He's okay. But it's just like,
He's like a Jerry comic, but he's not Jerry, and this isn't the 90s.
He's a Jerry comic, but he also is kind of like overtly Italian.
Yes.
So it's
He's
funny.
in that niche.
It's funny because it's coming out of like a stereotypical Italian
or New York Jew type fucking thing. Yeah,
right.
It's got that vibe. Yeah.
So he definitely pushes that out way too much. Some of the, I was he was watching, like, he said something about, like, I was walking down the street and somebody was eating the muffin, like, he was just taking a little, I'm like, just eat the fucking muffin or whatever, and I'm just like, what? But there are some funny things that he does, but I think it's funny because of his delivery. Kind of like Aziz Ansari. Like, he's not necessarily super funny, but his delivery is really funny. And like, I just like listening to him talk. Like, he's got one of those things where like he knows how to, control the rhythm of his speech, and like it's very
He's more of a storytelling type.
Yeah, and then be like, oh no, and like that cracks me up when he's like, when he's reading his nephew's
that's
Facebook
funny.
shit. That's funny. Like he can tell a story very funny. Like, but does he necessarily do a normal comedic premise punchline?
Is he throwing
thing?
out like Hedberg one-liners? No, not really.
He's telling stories.
Storyteller.
Yeah,
that's what like Segura says as well. He's like more of a storytelling comedian. That's why last
mostly
stories.
Have you ever watched Mike Birbiglia?
Yeah,
I like him, but it's in the same realm. It's like he's a storyteller. He's not necessarily a comic,
right?
Because I've tried to watch the movie he did, and it's horrible. It's like really hard to watch.
Really?
For me, it was.
When did that come out? Like 2 years?
Yeah, something like that.
I remember maybe he was doing interviews for it or something. Yeah, I don't need to see that.
Yeah, it was like, and I had binged like a whole bunch of his stand up, and like the one stand up is him just telling the story of like how he met his wife or whatever. It's like an hour long, and it was really entertaining. It was like, wow, cool.
Right.
And there were funny things in it, and there's like all kinds of stuff. But tried to watch this movie, which I think was based on that story, right? And I'm just like, I don't need to watch this because him just telling the story was so much more entertaining than watching the movie. But yeah, it was like
I've watched at least one of his specials. I remember getting through it, and I remember it was like, I was okay with it. It didn't.
Like, I remember him. I think I've seen like a half-hour special that he did for Comedy Central or something like that, and thought it was pretty funny. But
so like, who right now makes you laugh the most?
I don't know.
The best special you've seen?
I haven't really watched.
Did you watch
I kind of like just binge people, like, but.
Well, that's why I was like, man, I've seen parts of these. It's like one of those things where you figure like, okay, well, I need to. When you take an interest in any subject, it's like, okay, well, I need to know what Bill Hicks was.
Right.
Why do people? What's this facet of? Okay, well, I need to know like what Pryor did and like cover all your things. That's why I've been watching and just being like, okay, so this is Bill Hicks, and then like, because I feel like it's required.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's just certain ones that you have to see what they did.
I think that's true, but it's also like, if it doesn't speak to you, then there's no point, and it's not going to influence you at all.
I think you could see what not to do. I think if you don't enjoy it, you can gain a lot from like, okay, well, I do not want to do that. That's a shitty premise. Those are stupid fucking subjects. I hate the way he's holding the mic. Anything, anything you could gain from it.
True.
I would never dress like that on stage.
You're not gonna wear a red leather suit like Eddie Murphy.
Never said that.
Like, I watched the Amy Schumer one. It was not that good.
God. Yeah, it was bad. I couldn't get over her fucking body in that leather suit. She should have fucking opted for something.
Well, that's
else.
what she was joking. Like, every comedian has to do a special in leather suit.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't even a funny joke. That was just unsightly.
Yeah.
I heard that's why they changed the ratings on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
now you're rated on whether it's 5 stars based on whether you would like it,
right?
Not 5 stars according to the masses. Fucking hilarious. She got too many shitty reviews.
You win some, you lose some.
What other female comedians besides her are around? Let's get someone redeeming in here. I don't wanna bash the ladies too much.
I don't know.
Oh, I like starts with an E. Eliza Schlesinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
I've never actually watched her
I
stand
used to get a
up.
couple good specials.
I've seen her on To Tell the Truth a lot. She's on To Tell the Truth.
Oh, is that the some game show? Or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Where they have like 3 people and they have to guess who that.
Oh, they're doing that again?
Yeah, where it's like the celebrities have to guess who is the real person.
Like the real Hunter S. Thompson type deal?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's on it a lot. There's a lot of people that are on it a lot. Anthony Anderson hosts it. That's another show that I watch. I like to watch game shows because you don't really have to be invested in it. Though it's really hard to watch the $100,000 Pyramid because they get like football players because Michael Strahan hosts it, and it's really hard to watch. Scratch that. It's really hard to watch anybody on that show that's not of the proper intellect, who cannot give you like more than one clue as to what it is. You know?
Just keep repeating
I mean,
it.
even
It's
I mean,
red. It's red.
right? That's exactly what it's
It's
like.
between pink and dark red. It's big.
It's
Red.
like even like the contestants sometimes are like, you know, they're like a potted plant, and then the celebrity sitting there like trees, things you have in your house, a potted plant, like
Right, keep repeating it like it's gonna fucking help. Oh, we got it that time. Yeah.
But yeah, so I like watching stuff like that. But that one's hard to watch. But I watch, to tell the truth, I watch The Gong Show, even though it's creepy as hell with
I still
Mike
haven't seen
Myers
it, but yeah, I know.
in his prosthetics and
Right.
shit. But yeah,
I watched The Spy Who Shagged Me the other day. Still funny.
so
I
yeah.
don't know if the Gong Show is funny. I don't mind game show. Well, okay, so game shows don't really bother me, but I don't watch any besides like Jeopardy because I fucking enjoy that. But I don't mind game shows or sports because I don't feel like there's some fucking cabal of people trying to sell me some sort of fucking message.
But there is,
you know.
There always is.
You're talking about commercials and the
No,
ads.
I'm talking about.
You're talking about a pure game.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. What's hockey selling me while they're playing?
White men skating on ice.
What are they selling me? Glory?
Ice.
Glory, hard work, dedication, skill, talent. What are they selling?
All that.
Oh, okay. Good point.
They're always selling you something.
Nope. Some things you can look past.
They're
If you're
fixing
really
the games,
looking-
man. They're fixing the games.
That's a level of analysis that doesn't matter to me. It's about the dudes on the ice or the field.
Fixing the games. So that Sidney Crosby
Is
can
this your new piece on the show? Devil's advocate.
conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy. Billy Burr proved it. They're fucking rigging the basketball games and everything else. It's a fact. But no one gives a shit enough about hockey to fix it.
To fix the game?
Right.
Like to make it better, you mean? By fixing it?
No, that's what you meant with your joke. Is this from Hawaii?
This is from the Polynesian Resort,
Damn.
Disney World.
Holy shit.
Part of the Spirit of Aloha Luau show.
Wow. Well, that's more authentic than an actual lay, in my opinion.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, these are from.
Was that Kevin Nash?
Yeah. I met Kevin Nash at Wizard World Comic Con 2000. No, wait. No, it was before
20 aught?
sixth or seventh grade, between 6th and 7th grade, I think. Because I remember going to that Comic-Con, and then we had a new kid in our school, and he goes, "You look really familiar. Did you go to Wizard World Comic-Con?" And I said, "Yeah," and he's like, "I think I saw you there."
Damn.
He's like, "Okay."
Like a celebrity.
Yeah.
You guys are best friends from that point on.
Yeah. With our tech decks. But yeah, it was like, for whatever reason, they have wrestlers at these Comic-Cons. Right. And I met Paul Bearer at the same Comic-Con.
Great name.
Paul Bearer, manager for The Undertaker and Kane at some point. So I met him, and that was for free.
Oh.
And I had an Undertaker comic book, and I got him to sign the Undertaker comic book. But this cost like $25, and you got like a picture of him. You got to meet him, and he signed it. So he seemed like a pretty cool dude. But
they make bank on those things, I was hearing.
If you're Kevin Nash,
or if you're the Walking Dead dudes now.
Oh, those guys, yeah. Those, yeah, for sure.
Like, they were talking about someone got fucked up with taxes because these guys are leaving with like $200,000 in cash from just the lines of people and this.
Yeah, I heard
crazy.
The same. Was that on Joe
Just
Rogan?
Probably, yeah.
Was that Tom Papa?
They were talking about.
That's Tom Papa right
Was it?
there. I don't know. It sounds like.
They were talking about that dude from The Walking Dead. Yeah, I got caught up because he was just leaving with insane amounts of money. Woo. Tom Papa's specials are good.
Yeah, I always liked Tom Papa when, like, back in the day, he was on Comedy Central a lot.
Have you seen much Stanhope?
No.
I like Tom Papa a lot. Stanhope and Burr are right up there with me. I can't really decide. Like, Stanhope has my favorite special of all time at that time, but then the farther away I get from it, or maybe just a million times I've fucking seen it, you know? But it's still like, bam. I feel like that's subject matter, delivery, fucking hilarity right there. Like, but it was that moment in time, you know? Right. He's fucking like 15 years older now, and it's different. Yeah. I mean, he says himself, he's like running out of shit. I thought Triggered was good by Rogan. That was a good last one.
I don't know why it takes me a while to get into. It takes like a few 10, 15 minutes of his special, of his stand-up, and then I kind of get it. Maybe it's because I'm so used to the podcast now. And I think it's also I still have the stigma of this guy is not a stand-up comedian. Like, even though that's what he's always done, but he was that nobody on news radio, and then he was the host of Fear Factor. That's what I know him as, so it's harder for me to like. It's like if I saw Alex Trebek try to do stand-up or something like that. It would take me a while to lose the stigma of this is the host of Jeopardy kind of.
Steve Harvey or...
I would never want to watch... I think I watched The Kings of Comedy.
Probably, I did too, you know.
But I don't think I ever thought he was funny. But he probably wasn't even the headliner, was he? Or was he? No, Bernie Mac had to have been the headliner. Because it was him, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and D.L. Hughley.
D.L. Hughley.
And D.L. Hughley was kind of...
Would be up there too, probably.
Because he had the show and everything. Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know who would have headlined. I feel like Cedric the Entertainer was kind of like head man somehow. Maybe he was just, he's the feature or the host, you know what I mean? So maybe he was always like the one introducing everybody or something. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that.
I think my favorite comedian of all time is Larry the Cable Guy, I think. What's the guy with the ventriloquist guy?
Yeah, Jeff Dunham.
He's
got a new one on Netflix in Ireland.
Melissa likes him, so we watch it a lot. And I turned it on, and she was just like, "No, I'm okay." Like,
oh wow!
But he hasn't had a special in like 5 or 6 years.
My dad loved him. My dad thought he was fucking hilarious, and he and my other relatives, they went to like Chicago Theater and saw him a couple years ago, and yeah, he loved that shit. But
yeah. I mean, it's for right. It's for certain people. Like, I don't know.
I can't get past the ventriloquist.
Maybe that's why you don't like Jim Gaffigan.
Why?
Because the little voice that he does is kind of like if he had a ventriloquist dummy, kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be. There's that incessant, annoying shit he says all the time. That could be why I don't like him.
But it
I'm
could
gonna watch
be coming
a special
from...
and write down every time I hear that voice. See how much it fucking is.
I think that's why I like Jim Gaffigan. It's because I like the voice.
Tampa. That makes sense.
Tune in Tampa.
Yeah, it's like yours and Kelly's voice morphed together inside an albino. All the albino. You can find it on YouTube or something, or listen to like No Refunds by Stanhope. That's what I'm talking about. Fucking amazing special. Probably 2005 or 6. He's still got like Beer Hall Putsch is on Netflix. I think that's the only one. But that one's more recent.
Yeah, I think I turned that one on and I wasn't getting into it, so I turned it off.
Although I think, so I've got to watch that last one again. The Bill Burr one, Walk Your Way Out. The impression I got was that he actually was maybe trying to walk the room, or he actually was trying to piss people off. Like I got a different vibe than the previous ones where he's just like killing it to be there to kill it. Like he kept going to these fucking areas he shouldn't.
I think that's what he said because he did it in Texas or something.
Right, he was in somewhere like that
where he knew
certain things were gonna.
They didn't think the same way that he did about certain subjects, so he wanted to push it and push the envelope.
Well, Bill Burr is from Boston, used to think himself a liberal, but then he moves out there and finds himself way more in the center than fucking the yahoos out there, and now it's like,
Well, I think that's... I mean, I feel like, I'm sure Joe Rogan feels the same way.
Same thing, yeah.
He's, well, he's also kind of has gone back and forth a bunch, but...
I mean, they're older than us, but I feel the same way. Like, growing up, just being like, obviously, we grew up nice kids, and then there's something about that where you naturally gravitate towards, like, including everyone and blah, 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 and somehow that's associated with that whole side.
Right.
And I'm confused as to how now I've ended up in this place. Even though I've pretty much stayed in the same fucking place, it doesn't feel like it anymore because...
It's difficult.
Because I can't take it as far as these people,
Well, there's a difference between... I think there's no... I think we all need to find the center and not reach towards either side, because both sides, when you get far enough, are total batshit crazy, and they don't understand how
to coexist.
Not that, but also that the world needs to function, and the only way it can function is through the center. It can't function...
Negotiation and cooperation in the center. Right?
Like, there's a thing about when you cooperate or... what's the word?
Collaborate.
No. Sometimes you have to, like, give a little, right? What is that? Compromise. And when you compromise, nobody's happy, right? I think that's the problem, is that, like, one side wants to be happy, the other side wants to be happy, and they feel like the only way they can
totally happy 100%
100% of the time
uninfringed,
and the only way, and then they come up with these really crazy ideas as to what will make this side completely totally happy, this side completely, but the problem is you can't do that.
And we can't have it any other way besides this way.
Right, like I can't have everything I want. Right. I can't do everything I should be able to do, but that's fine as long as I can live my life without, whatever. I don't
Sure.
know. Like,
Yeah, I got it.
So I think everybody needs to find a center. Like listening to Joe Rogan, like it helps me kind of find that center too. Because like somebody like Bill Nye, who when growing up I was like, oh yeah, Bill Nye is awesome.
Yeah.
And the more I watched his Netflix special, right? Bill Nye Saves the World. Mm-hmm. And the more I got into it, is like, Bill Nye is not trying to save the world. Bill Nye is trying to appease to a certain set of constituents who pay his bills. So...
Fuck you, Bill Nye. Fuck you.
So I listen to Star Talk, which is hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I find him very centered. He's like a Vulcan. He's like all about logic and like you can believe whatever you want to believe, but if you're going to try to change whatever science, physics or whatever, change facts, then that's when he has a problem, right?
Good.
So, but he's friends with Bill Nye, and Bill Nye comes on sometimes to host the show when Neil can't.
Wow.
And when Bill Nye comes on the show, the show becomes very political.
What?
And it's there's a lot of things about climate change and things like that, because that's his main thing. Is that like this? He's gonna ride this. He's gonna ride this climate change stuff till the end of time. Mm-hmm. It's true, but I think we need to. I don't know. I feel like he's just fighting and not trying to create a solution.
Are you trying to solve the problem, or you're just stirring the fucking pot?
Right. So, but like when it's just Neil, it's like. It's so like we're talking about.
That's what I like
science.
about him as well. Right. I mean, he gives opinions of stuff, but most of it is because of the questions he gets asked.
He did a thing about hip hop, and then so he Chuck Nice, the comedian Chuck Nice, co-hosted with him, and he asked him about B.O.B. because they had a beef about flat Earth, and Neil was like, "Look, B.O.B. can think whatever he wants." But the moment he brought in physics and said, based on physics and based on my these calculations, the Earth is flat, he's like, that's when I had a problem with it. Sure. It's like, you can say the Earth's flat all you want, but if you're going to try to change...
We're going to bring in laws.
Right. If you're going to try to turn the laws of physics into a different viewpoint, then that's when I have a problem with it. So, it's... like watching Bill Nye, it's like drives me nuts. And then like I heard that, and then I heard he's suing Disney for the rights, and you cannot sue Disney.
Fuck you, Bill Nye. Jesus.
Because he wasn't getting his. He says he didn't get his residuals or like the proper royalty payments for the show from 1991 or whatever.
He's pissed off he's not king of the USA yet.
I think it's really... He's just mad because they closed down the ride that featured him at Epcot. And so he's trying to get back.
You're no longer a part of Tomorrowland, Bill Nye. You're yesterday land.
But yeah. So like, to me, it's like, I kind of see it. Like... you can get swept up in it though. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to get swept up in, being a social justice warrior, because you might think you're doing something good, or you might be doing something with good intentions. But I like being a teacher, and they made us. We had to like strike. We had a 1-day strike a couple years ago, right? And all the schools in the Little Village area did this walk. And we walked... It was supposed to be like... I don't know what it was, but it was to kind of show that when kids leave our schools, they go straight to prison. It's like this school to prison funneling thing. And the prison is close to, it's 26 in California. So we started, right? And we walk, and then like the elementary school teachers, as we took this route, and like, by the time we had like every school in the area.
Yeah.
And we were going down 26th Street. We're taking up the entire street. And it's a peaceful protest, and the people in the neighborhood are like,
sure,
with us.
Teachers,
Yeah. And it's like, because we want this to change. We don't, we want proper funding for, schools of, Hispanic and African American to be the same as the schools that service the primarily white neighborhoods of Chicago, because they're...
That figures you're getting on a good fucking topic.
What happened?
Fucking camera died. You guys are walking down the street.
Oh yeah, but then there were like people. The people who organized it were. Some of them were like young, like teenagers and stuff, and like wanted to like lash out. Like when the cops are trying to like keep everything together, and it's like they were trying to lash out, and it's just like, that's not how you do it. Like, this is just a peaceful thing. We're just gonna do this walk, and it's supposed to be symbolic of this. And I feel like that's what happens is like you get too many people who think it's like 1960 and we're protesting, we're protesting for civil rights and things like that. It's like, it's not the same. It's not the same time kind of thing. I think people have to realize that, but so I can see like you could do things and make it. There's obviously things in society that are unfair and unjust.
Always, yeah.
And we need to strive to correct that. But we need to figure out a better way to do it than,
You can't fix this one thing you're trying to fix by tearing down the whole thing. No one's grateful for what we have, which we should be.
Right.
It's just like, of course, there's always going to be some shit that's fucked up. That's the other thing, though. You've got people, young kids, a lot of them, like looking at, like, I don't know, a picture of fucking Rosa Parks. And yeah, they think that they're a fucking hero all of a sudden because they're standing there making an asshole of themselves on the street. It's like, I don't know. They didn't take a picture of Rosa Parks because she was acting like fucking you know what I mean? And the gravity of the situation and the way shit is, it's not the same.
Right.
You never... Anyone who feels oppressed is like, if they were here, they didn't deal with what the people back then dealt with. Right. It's just not the fucking same. And it's unearned, right? It's like, oh, well, if I walk down this fucking street with these people, or if I hit like on Facebook, now I'm part of the fucking cause and I'm doing so much.
Right.
And it's misguided. Yeah, look, you guys were doing what you're doing and it was good, but then these young kids, they want to lash out as if that solves...
Right. Yeah.
It's very misguided. It's like a lot of young kids fucking doing shit, but then no one wants to fucking be like, hey, dummies, you're 18, you're 22.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up for a second. Like, we have adults here.
I think you ended on shut the fuck up.